Nigerian music and breakdance star, Peter Okoye aka Mr. P of the P-Square group has accused his twin brother, Paul Okoye aka Rude Boy and their elder brother, Jude Okoye of working together to always humiliate him, with the twin brother telling lies to make fans hate him as if Peter is always jealous of him. Peter Okoye, in a news statement captured as open letter addressed to his twin brother, Paul Okoye on Monday, said they have lost command in the pulling of crowds of people or fans unlike when they were together as P-Square. Adding, since they both splitted with different brand names as Mr. P and Rude Boy, they have not been able to stage a show with the entire stadium filled with people unlike the years they were together as P-Square. Peter Okoye accused their elder brother of trying to oppress him, adding, instead of his younger and twin brother, Paul to work together with him to build P-Square, he decided to pitch tent with Jude, whom in the open letter he described as someone not helping matter. Peter, in the second letter he issued same day, attributed the likely cause of problems in the P-Square group to their elder brother, Jude, whom he accused was always stealing their money while they were together as P-Square. According to Peter, their elder brother secretly created a company similar to the name of the original company they were using to receive royalties as P-Square. Adding, unknown to him, the elder brother diverted millions of dollars and naira of their money to the secret company account, which he said both the elder brother and wife, Ifoma, were the directors of the company. And the address of the registered secret company was the family house of his elder brother's wife. He said he never petitioned his twin brother before EFCC, rather, it was his elder brother, Jude, that was petitioned, invited, questioned and detained by the EFCC. Media reports indicated that Paul Okoye had in a recent interview said, I had planned to perform Bank Alert as Rude Boy, but Onyeka Onwenu and Mr. Ibu informed me that they would not appear in the video if my brother Peter was left out. I am the one who composed 99% of P-Square's songs, but I will never admit it publicly. I wrote that song while we were having problems. Mr. Ibu and Onyeka Onwenu were the two parents featured in the Bank Alert video. I recall discussing the Bank Alert video shoot with Onyeka Onwenu the last time I spoke with her. I had to say what I'm about to say, even though I really don't want to. Upon contacting her, I informed her that the song wasn't intended for P-Square. Punch newspaper in its report recently indicated that while speaking in an interview with City FM, Paul said, out of four brothers working together, everybody plays their parts. It is not just a money thing. At some point, it felt like I was the one doing all the music, so I had to move so Peter could do the music as well. I was accused of claiming that I was the singer, while he was the dancer. Whenever we went to some places, people would ask who was the singer and who was the dancer, and I didn't know he was taking it to heart. I once told him not to let those things get to him, because that was the part people saw him play. Paul also traced the tension between them back to their 2014 collaboration with American rapper T.I. on the song Ejajo, noting that the sound was different from the traditional P-Square style fans were used to. He added that in order not to widen the rift between them or lose the P-Square touch, he suggested that both of them should contribute 5 songs each to the album. All of a sudden, Peter said he wanted to quit, and I asked him if we could make the news public, but he refused. The implication was that if I went solo, people would see me as a bad person. That was why I decided to speak. Otherwise, I have over 200 songs that I don't know what to do with them. I feel the fans need to start knowing these things. Recounting an incident that happened earlier in the year, Paul stated, something happened this year. I was invited by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over a petition written against me and my elder brother. When I got there, I asked them what happened. They had already printed out the statement of my bank accounts, and they started an investigation. However, 1 month ago, they called us and our elder brother, and declared us innocent. The only difference was our lifestyle. He took us back to a bank statement of 2007 over a $200,000 credit I got, though we traced his part of the funds to a vehicle he bought. After the truth came out that I was innocent, he still did not apologize. I am not speaking up because I want to bring anybody down. He accused me of selling our music catalog, the same catalog I wrote 99% of. For now, I just want to continue my thing. Details of the two separate letters written by Peter Okoye read below verbatim. My dear brother Paul, just like I have told you several times, I am not in any competition with you or anybody else. However, seeing you grant countless interviews where you constantly discredit my efforts in the group that we both created and built together really speaks balls. In your recent interviews, you claimed that you wrote and sang 99% of all P-Square songs and discredited me by saying that our song with T.I. Ejajo, which I wrote, was a failure. You went as far as using the YouTube views to discredit me once again. You never acknowledged the other songs like Get Squared, Busybody, Personally, Roll It, Temptation, Alingo, More Than a Friend, Shekini, Say Your Love, Gimme That, Senorita, Ibedu, and a few others. Were these songs also considered failures as well? Every time I have spoken in interviews about P-Square, I have always used we and us because I saw us as a team. But whenever you speak, it's always I and me, even when I'm standing right beside you. It's as if I never existed. My brother, neither of us is the most talented artist in the world, but you failed to understand that God gave us this talent and even granted us another chance to excel after our last breakup. Instead, you chose to turn the most awarded and decorated music group in Africa into a laughingstock again. One thing you need to understand clearly is that the fans didn't fall in love with P-Square because of who sang or danced the most. What made us special was the magic that came from our combined efforts, us two. P-Square was a force and the fans fell in love with P-Square because of our uniqueness and unity. We both have talent, no doubt, and I have often praised you in our interviews for your songwriting ability. I have also praised anyone who has ever written a song for us or even for me as Mr. P. But instead of showing gratitude for my kind words, you seem to find satisfaction in rubbing it in my face, forgetting that it is by God's grace that we have come this far. Rather than joining forces with me to reclaim our #1 spot in the music industry, you chose to team up with Jude to claim the #1 spot in the P-Square group, always looking for opportunities to marginalize and humiliate me. You are always claiming to be P-Square's songwriter, composer, producer, singer, backup vocalist. In fact, you are everything including P-Square's video director, band promoter, manager, even the choreographer. You are the author and finisher of P-Square. In fact, I dash you 100% of everything instead of the 99% you claim. I blame myself for not responding to your tweet claims in April 2015 that you wrote and sang all of P-Square's songs. I didn't respond to these false claims for the sake of peace as advised by family and friends, and now I am paying dearly for it. So, my brother, let me ask you, is Rude Boy or Mr. P bigger and more successful than P-Square today? Are we individually selling out arenas and stadiums like P-Square used to? Are we topping world music charts with our songs as solo artists? Do we command crowds and entertain massive audiences like P-Square? I often find myself wondering, what do you truly gain by constantly disrespecting and belittling me all the time? You have disrespected my wife, disrespected my family, disrespected my talent, disrespected my ideas, and even sided with Jude when he was clearly trying to oppress me. Now, it feels like you have taken it even further by trying so hard to turn the fans against me by making them believe I'm jealous of you. You have been doing everything for the fans to hate me, but guess what? They will never hate me, instead they will hate us both because we have disappointed and failed them. I hope you are happy now. I genuinely wish you nothing but the best, bro. As for those who believe these lies and false narratives and come to my page to drop negative comments, I understand because you have been fed the wrong narrative for a long time. Please allow me to focus and do my music in peace. As for the EFCC matter, I will address it before the end of today. Stay tuned. Please. Second letter about EFCC. Before I tell you the whole story, here is what I need you all to understand. It's always surprising to me when people say P-Square is always bringing their family matters into the public eye. Let me clarify this. P-Square is not just a family, it's a public brand, but Peter, Paul, Jude, Anita, Ifoma, Lola, and the rest of our family members are family, but P-Square is an entity that belongs to the public as much as it does belong to us. Our fans have played a significant role in our success, so they have the right to know what's happening with their beloved brand P-Square. That's why it's understandable when certain aspects of our lives are shared publicly. Now, let's get straight to the point. I want to make it clear that I never reported my twin brother Paul to the EFCC. I know many of you were disappointed when Paul accused me of doing so. He mentioned that I wrote a petition against him, which he claimed made the EFCC to ask him to provide a surety. This statement suggested that he was detained, which is not true. Peter, Paul and Jude own a management company together called Northside Entertainment, which we use to manage all of P-Square's affairs. One day, I discovered another company with a similar name, but this one was called Northside Music instead of Northside Entertainment. This surprised me, so I decided to investigate further, and guess what? To my shock, the founders and directors of this secret company were none other than Jude Okoye and his wife Ifeoma Okoye, and the registered address was the family home of Jude's wife. Still in shock, I knew I had to talk to Paul about it. I approached him multiple times, at least 4 different times, asking if he knew anything about this secret company and the whereabouts of some of P-Square's royalties. Each time I met with him, he denied knowing anything about it. I want to set the record straight. I hereby challenge Paul or anyone else to show any petition that I, Peter Okoye, ever submitted against my twin brother Paul or that has Paul's name on it. I am still writing this with so much shock because I gave clear instructions to my legal team, with a standing order, that under no circumstances should Paul be included in my petition. Their focus was to remain solely on the primary suspects, Jude Okoye and his wife, Ifeoma Okoye, since they were the directors of this secret company. Northside Music. Paul's recent interview about the EFCC incident contains a lot of lies. I watched and listened to Paul's interview. I was totally speechless, and I kept asking myself, how does Paul have the audacity to publicly tell lies like this, even with a respected and reputable agency like the EFCC? He claimed I petitioned him, but that's not something that ever happened to Paul. The truth is, this was something that actually happened to Jude. The real story goes back to the shocking discovery I made, but what really got me very upset was finding out that for years, millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of naira were being secretly diverted into this secret company's account, Northside Music, from our own company, Northside Entertainment. This was not just a minor issue, it was a massive betrayal that had been going on for several years. I understand that Paul is angry because I took this matter to the EFCC, and I understand why. However, bearing in mind that I have met Paul and Jude separately and tried to discuss this matter and it yielded me with no positive answer. In fact, the last time I approached Paul, the conversation got heated up and he said, and I quote, "Peter, go and do your worst." At this stage, one was left with no other choice but to report to the authorities and take legal actions. Jude was then detained after being questioned. He came clean and admitted he had been diverting millions of dollars of our money to this secret company that he and his wife were the director of. All of Jude's bank accounts were immediately frozen. He was eventually released on bail after he managed to provide a surety and met the other bail conditions. Meanwhile, further investigations are still going on up until now. Paul's name was never mentioned in the petition because he was never a director of this secret company, unless there is something he is hiding from all of us. Paul was only invited for questioning, just like Jason Njoku of Iruko TV, Amaju Pinnick, and others who had transactional dealings with Northside Music. The EFCC investigation found out that Northside Music had been secretly collecting P-Square's royalties over the years. These royalty money were sent to a bureau de change, then transferred to Jude's personal bank account. A closer look at Jude's account statement revealed that once the money entered his personal account, there were multiple transactions where he was splitting the funds equally with Paul, without Peter. This naturally led to some questions. After Jude confessed to diverting the funds, he also told the EFCC that the money he had been sending to Paul for several years wasn't about sharing money behind Peter's back. Instead, it was money he owed Paul from the sale of their house in America, which he was gradually paying back the loan. This is the reason why Paul has been telling everyone that the EFCC has cleared him, as if I ever wanted him to get into trouble with the EFCC. The story is very long, but I will tell it all in due time. For now, I will stop here until the EFCC sends the final report to my legal team. Once that happens, before heading to the law court, I will make the exact petition that doesn't include Paul's name public. I will also release the EFCC final report, receipts, and other documents related to this secret company, including the CSU registration, bank transactions, and bank statements that Jude set up with his wife, Ifeoma Okoye. May God help us all.
Sazuwakan Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.